As soon as I lose, I know I failed myself. 1 year ago, I would fail myself and say, meh. Now, I don't. I say, you're better than that. You say you would die for your kids. Would you really? You would die for your kids, but you can't cut it off after a half a tablespoon of almond butter?
And that's one of the things I call guys out on. I would do anything for my kids except not eat this third double cheeseburger. I would do anything except stop the one thing that's tearing our whole family apart. Hi everyone, welcome to the Rising Father podcast. I'm Chris Rodak. I've got Aman Bring with me. He's a member of our Men of Fire program. He's been with us for like 7 months now. He's made an unbelievable transformation physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, with the discipline in his relationships. I met him in person at our Men of Fire retreat. He's an awesome guy. Consider him a close friend now. So welcome, Aman.
Thank you, Chris. Pleasure to be here on the podcast with you, man. I know that we talked about this a few months ago, and I've been excited ever since to share the story of how you've helped change my life.
I appreciate that. And now you're changing guys' lives in the program. I'm going to dig into that too, how you became a leader of other men and are inspiring other guys to do the same thing that you've done within our program from a leadership position. So first, let's just dive into who you are, because no one knows who you are. I feel like I know you very, very well, but people have never even heard of you before. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so my name is Aman Bring. I'm a 36-year-old father to 3 children, husband to a beautiful wife. My wife's name is Amy, and my kids are 9 years old, Logan. I named him after Wolverine. My 7-year-old is Ryan Xavier, named him after Charles Xavier from X-Men. And my 4-year-old princess, my daughter, her name is Mila. My wife didn't let me name her Storm, so she didn't get an X-Men name. Again, I'm 36 years old. I live in close to Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. So I'm quite a bit away from you, Chris, but I'm Pacific Standard Time. We always talk about PST or EST because we're in different time zones. But I'm also a business owner. I'm a co-founder and chief operating officer of a group of companies called East to West Group of Companies. Our website address is www.ewgroup.ca. We specialize in equipment financing and we're a local mortgage broker here. So a brokerage which has approximately 33 employees across Canada. So we have an office in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Calgary, Alberta, and in Vancouver, BC, or Surrey, BC, locally. So I'm a business owner. I'm a family man. And most of all, I'm a guy that's always trying to work to better himself.
Beautiful. So busy man, right?
Very busy, very busy.
What sparked you to reach out in the first place? What drove you to Rising Father? Like what happened in your life that caused the initial action?
It's funny. I look back to December 2023, and before December 2023, I'll go back to December 2017. Right. I'm the New Year's resolution guy. In 2017, my New Year's resolution was to get fit. So if I'm 36 in 2017, what am I? I'm 6 years younger. I'm about 30 years old. I met with a personal trainer here locally. He had a gym in his garage. Absolutely wonderful man. His name is Greg Penny. Amazing soul. He was my first personal trainer, and a very dynamic personal trainer. He did different type of working out, HIIT training, etc. While I was being personal trained by him, I was also in another group similar to yours, but not similar at all. This one was more data focused. They gave me my macros, and I followed the macros to a T. And in 2017 or 2018, March 3 months later. It was the first time I've ever had abs. But I got abs for the outside look. Um, that was my first achievement for looking good to the outside world. So very quickly I fell off because I achieved my target and I went back to my normal ways. And summertime came and I started to drink beers with my friends and started to eat like crap, and there you go again. And then I started in the gym again in September, stopped again in October, injured myself, did whatever, and New Year's resolution time comes again in 2019. In 2019, let's call it 32 or 33 years old, I went through a phase where I was making really good money and I thought I was king of the world. I would go out with my clients and stay out late and go to fine dining restaurants, and I missed a lot of time with my family because I was making a sacrifice for them. I thought I was making a sacrifice by being at a nice fancy restaurant and coming home late. It was work. I was doing it for them, but I was losing myself. I really was. I was losing myself and my identity. I was becoming somebody who I never thought I wanted to be, but I wanted to be because the outside world wanted me to be that person. So now 2019 comes and I have that New Year's resolution epiphany again. Now I start with another macro person. Now this person is very near and dear to me now as well because he's become a friend. But the accountability aspect of what we have at Rising Fathers wasn't there. It was just me talking to one guy and him helping me through my macros and my days and my workouts, etc. So I got ripped again. I got abs again. And very quickly, 4 months later, they disappeared. Summertime rolled around. 36 years old. I'm born in October. 36 years old. I'm born in October. November comes around. December comes around. And in December this year, I didn't. So in 2023, I didn't have as many client meetings, but I still drank Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even though it wasn't a lot, but I was drinking many days in the week. And I realized very quickly that the drinking was becoming a stress relief for me. It was becoming my way to forget about my issues that I was creating for myself. And I point that out, that I was creating issues for myself, is because if I'm not 100% on my game, I'm procrastinating on certain tasks. Those tasks are piling up. When those tasks pile up, one falls off and crashes and breaks. And those issues start piling up and another one crashes and breaks. Finally, at the age of 36, December 15th, 20th, I remember saying to myself, I just gotta change, man. Like, this is not me. I gotta become the best version of myself, and I need to find something or someone or something that's gonna help me do that. And I was looking to the outside world to help me. So I just started checking on Instagram and looking around, and I came across 2 or 3 different people. 2 or 3 different people, and I called each and every single one of them and told them my story and told them that, you know what, I say I don't have a drinking problem, but maybe I do. Maybe I count on it for my stress relief. Maybe I count on it to be cool. I don't know. But I don't think I have a drinking problem. But if I'm bringing it up with these people, obviously it's something that bugs me. Obviously it's something that I know I have to work on. I wasn't present with my family. I was taking calls in the evenings. I was always snapping with my wife. If she says something, I was always in defense mode. And so as of December end, I found you, and I got on the first call with you, and I thought you were an absolute asshole. and I asked you for references, and you were very blunt. You had no compassion in your voice. You didn't give a shit if I was going to join or not. And I asked you for a reference, and you referred me to one of the members of the group. I had a Zoom call with Justin Johnson, and he told me how his life has changed, and I was sold. I called you back, and I signed up. Best decision I've ever made. A few $1,000, so be it. I've made way more money just being in the program, even in a downturn market. And that's my story, man. And that's where my journey starts.
It's amazing.
With asshole Chris.
With asshole me. I can tell when I'm on the call. Every guy has a different approach. With as you know from sales, some people need smoke blown up their ass. Other people you cannot blow smoke up their ass. I knew.
Yeah.
You were the kind of guy who needs someone to tell him the truth.
Yeah.
But so happy that, and there's some guys who if they ask for a reference, I say no, because I know that it just won't work out for them. But you're a guy who's like, all right, this guy I know absolutely can do something amazing. So I'm willing to do that, because it's an extra pain in the ass for me. If you don't close someone on the call, then you're like going back and forth over message and email, and it delays the process and your system gets broken. But I was willing to do that for you, and I'm glad that I did. All right, so that's who you are. That's how you found us. Now, you mentioned a couple other programs and trainers that you joined, and nothing to bash these other people, and there's plenty of people who've been successful with one-on-one trainers and other programs, and that's great. But everyone needs a different thing, and I feel like we've created something special with our program. So you tried, it sounds like 3 or 4 different things. What is like the thing, because that's helped you now, because you've been with us 7 months, and on the thumbnail for this YouTube video, at least, I'm going to have like your before and after, because it's unbelievable. Awesome. Like you look like you could be on the front of like a fitness magazine. And it's been 7 months now. Yeah, look at that. There you go. And so look at that.
Crazy.
If you're listening on Spotify, look at the YouTube, because you'll be able to see him. He just flexed his abs, 8-pack there. He's in the end of July now, like summer. He just got off of a 30-day wedding celebration, vacation, honeymoons, all these things. The temptation season of summer, and he still is shredded. So, like for guys listening who just a single weekend can tear them down, what is it about this program, or like what you're doing right now, that's helping you stick with it and avoid the temptations?
We have multiple different groups within our WhatsApp community. One of the groups being accountability, one of them being gym time, one of them being transformations, another one being discussion. So I'll talk about 4 of those. Discussion is about anything that comes up throughout the day. Challenges, where a group of guys, 40, 50 guys, or even more. How many guys do you have in there, Chris?
Active right now, we probably have 70.
70.
We've gone over 100 guys.
Think about it, 70 guys with the exact same problems of life, exact same challenges, talking to each other and getting through those challenges together. Amazing. Accountability group. Every single night we post how our day went with our diet, with our health, with our focus on bettering ourselves, with our marriage, with our kids. Every evening. Every morning we wake up and we post our workout time, our wake up time. Accountability group keeps me accountable to the people that I'm leading or are leading me, or I'm growing with. This is a call it a community, call it a cult. If it's a cult, it's a goddamn good cult.
I'm happy to be in this cult.
I'm damn happy to be brainwashed by this positive, growth-oriented cult. We talk about gym time. Every time we're in the gym, we take a picture while we're working out. Men like that. Men like sharing that kind of stuff. That's our way of putting on a nice outfit and sharing it with our girlfriend. So it's the community. It's how many guys we have together that are working on the same things, that really just want to be the best version of themselves and keep growing.
Mm. Yeah, you talk about brainwashing, and we talk about that on our calls a lot. Is
Yeah.
the story we tell ourselves, filling our heads with with positive voices to combat the negative voices. Where in your life do you get negative voices? And talk a little bit more about how important it is to you. It's been to fill your head with positive voices. Like, where are you combating these negative voices?
I'm combating him every day, every second. Um, and let me kind of give you examples. In the morning when the alarm goes off, the negative voice says, "Don't wake up, man. It's really cold.
So the negative voice is coming from you.
Yeah, you're so warm. Come on. You can sleep in 15 minutes. Nothing's gonna happen." Next negative voice. Walking down the stairs. "Fuck, do you really gotta work out? God damn, just do a quick one." Next negative voice. Fourth set in, and the app says you gotta do 5 sets. Fourth set in. "You've done enough. It's okay. You gotta save some time. Come on, you don't need to do the fifth one. It's okay. You only need to do 4. That's how normal people do. They only do 4 sets of each exercise." Then you finish the workout. Next negative voice. "Oh, on that rice cake, you got half a tablespoon of almond butter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not enough to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, go for that 1 tablespoon."
Mm-hmm.
Next negative voice. "Gotta go to work. Fuck. Again. Same shit over and over." So it's all day. It's all day. Yeah, it's all day, but it's what this program has taught me is how to beat that negative voice.
So let's share some of the strategies just for
Okay.
free for people. So what now you have negative voices from what you're describing, and what I believe is true. Our biggest person we're battling is ourselves, and a lot of them can just
Is
come from
ourselves, yeah.
in your brain. So how do you fight those?
You fight them by knowing that you have people in your corner, and you fight them by training your mind to win every single time. So those are two aspects that I look at. Every time I feel that negative voice, I have to beat it. I have to become a bully and get it out of my head and beat it up immediately. I don't want to wake up, get up, boom, done, success, one small win. Don't want to work out, boom, workout, one small win. The moment I say to myself, I don't want to do that 8th rep, fuck it, I'm doing that 8th rep. The moment I say I want that extra tablespoon of almond butter, fuck you. Put away the almond butter. You're not having any almond butter because you said that.
If you gave in to that bitch voice, we call it, to that weak voice, just for like the smallest thing, because someone might be listening to this who, I know guys who drink 5-8 beers a night, and they're thinking, man, this guy's saying a half a tablespoon of almond butter versus one. Is he crazy? What happens to you on the inside if you give in just the littlest bit?
And I'll tell you, 7 months in, every single day I give in to something little. But then I have to compound it with wins to get rid of that feeling of that one small loss. So if I go with the overflow of the half tablespoon of almond butter, and I know it was more than a half a tablespoon, and trust me, I go through this battle, Chris. You know I do. You know I do. I will have to increase my wins to get rid of that in my head, and then practice every day to not do that again. So it doesn't feel good. As soon as I lose, I know I've failed myself. But 1 year ago, I would fail myself and say, meh. Now, I don't. I say, you're better than that. Come on. You don't have that much. You don't have enough discipline for something small like that. It's like a quote I saw online. You say you would die for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Would you really? But yet you can't. You would die for your kids, but you can't. You can't cut it off after a half a tablespoon of almond butter.
Yeah, that pisses me off when I hear guys talk about that, and that's one of the things I call guys out on.
Yeah.
So they say, I would do anything for my kids except not eat this third double cheeseburger.
Exactly.
I would I would do anything except to stop the one thing that's tearing our whole family apart. So you're describing moral battles within yourself to the standards with which you hold yourself.
Hmm.
And that we talked about this I think last week on the call was everyone has a different set of standards. Like your 100% is different than another guy's 100%. So have your standards changed for yourself over the past year over how you hold yourself, like the rules in which you live by?
Extremely. 7 months in, um, I know exactly what I'm looking for from life. I'm looking for greatness. My 100% means 100%. When you say other guys have a different 100%, uh, I kind of disagree. I agree, but I disagree. But 100% means all in. It doesn't mean weekends off. It doesn't mean once a month off. All in is all in. Um, and yes, everybody has different rules for themselves. But for me personally, I've set my guidelines now, and I journal about it a little bit here or there. That's an area of improvement for me is journaling.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, I, I I have my mission statement written out very clearly. My personal mission statement written out, and it gets adjusted week by week, month by month, with new words in it, with new sentences. But it's becoming more and more clear as time goes on.
And what I think we're both agreeing in the same way, just taking a different interpretation. When I say everyone has different 100%, I don't mean their 100% is correct or good for them. I mean, if
Mhm.
you're the guy who, in their perspective, in their world, the way they see the world, if you're a guy who drinks 8 beers a night, giving 100% is you drinking 5 beers a night
Yeah,
because that's what you're used to. Your 100% is when I see only allowed a half tablespoon of almond butter. I only eat a goddamn half tablespoon of almond butter.
hmm
So what you perceive in your mind as giving everything will continually get higher and higher and higher the more you rise and elevate yourself. Like 12 months from now, what you consider going all in will probably blow this current version away. And I would think you would hope for that. Like I hope that 5 years from now I kick this version's ass in
yeah,
everything.
for sure,
So you elevate your vision.
for sure.
Um, let's go into your background a little bit, if you're okay with that. Like, has the way you're living now, your business, your discipline, at this life, how does this connect at all to family life growing up? And can you start off
Mhm.
just telling us a little bit about your family life growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up in a middle class family. My mom worked with a chicken poultry processing facility, and my father worked in a sawmill. They both, made decent money to make ends meet. They worked two jobs when I was a younger toddler. So they hustle to make it, to be middle class, to keep getting by. In no means did we ever have a lot of money, but we had a comfortable life. Um, Growing up, I was surrounded by a lot of people that had a lot of materialistic things, friends with wealthier parents, etc. And I always kind of wanted all of that, and I had a lot of resentment towards my parents for not being those parents and not
Mm.
giving me those easy things, easy accomplishments. At a very young age, my parents got me working in farming and agriculture. So blueberry farms locally here, our industry is agriculture. In British Columbia, we're known for our blueberries. So at 13 years old, I started working at blueberry processing facilities and agriculture, blueberry farms, just doing little jobs here or there, but making enough money to buy my clothes for the upcoming year for grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. Got through high school, and I met my now wife in grade 10. Um, uh, Tried to make a move right away. she wasn't having it. But by grade 12, when we were 18 years old, on January 31st, 2005, we started dating. And that was 2005. So now we're sitting in 2024. So we're at 19 years of knowing each other. And in 2012, about 7 years after we started dating, we got married. 2012 we got married, and 2015 we had our first child, Logan. He's now 9 years old. 2017 we had our second child, Ryan Xavier. He's now again 7, and then in 2020 we had our third, our daughter. We were blessed with a girl. I really, really wanted a girl, Mila, and she's definitely brought a lot of love and balance into our family. And my parents now are retired. They live in Abbotsford, about a half an hour drive away from me. My in-laws are, my mother-in-law is retired, and my father-in-law is still working. I have a younger sister who's married with two boys, young boys, 2 and 4. My wife has a older brother who's expecting his first child. The family is growing. It's a beautiful time in life. Everything is kind of coming together as I dreamed of. My wife bought me a Notorious B.I.G. poster in our first couple of years because she knew I was a dreamer. And at the bottom of it, it says it was all a dream. So that's one of my reflecting lines now, is when I have a moment with myself, I always think about that it was all a dream and it's all coming together.
There's a lot I want to talk about in there. You said that your wife didn't have it when you first went after her. What do you mean? Is there a story there? Is there a story there?
Sure. First time I ever met her in grade 10, she came to visit a girlfriend of hers. And the first time I ever saw her, the first day ever, I did something creepy. I went up to her and I told her I was going to marry her. She doesn't even know me from a hole in the wall. I just saw this beautiful girl walk into my school, and I had no clue what to say to her. And I was introduced to her, and I was a cocky young little guy, short, hadn't really hit puberty yet, and that was the first thing that came to mind. I don't know. I don't know what I meant by it, if I was trying to say that to every other girl, but there was something special when I saw her, and yeah, she wasn't having it. I mean, think about that as a woman. You're probably like, what the hell? Who the hell is this guy?
That's awesome. And then so you start off with a little bit of, creepiness, as you said. How did you win her over?
So I added her on MSN. Back then, you have to do the phone line, connect the phone line, and your mom's like, get off the internet. But I remember, writing song lyrics on my MSN name with heart emojis and shit like that, and just trying to talk to her as much as I could. And she lived in a different city, so she was a little bit distant, and it just didn't work. She just wouldn't bite. So I kind of stopped talking to her. She kind of stopped talking to me. But we would always connect every few months, just say hello, message here or there. And then in grade 12, at the time, her friend that connected us, we had skipped school and gone shopping to a mall nearby, and her friend had said, "Hey, why don't we go pick up Amy?" So we went and grabbed her from her school. So this was like basically me seeing her after a few years, and me hitting puberty and becoming taller and a little better looking, and braces are off now, and I think there was a spark there at that time. And then the next day, after I basically gave her a call and asked her out, and kind of started dating a little bit here and there, kind of talking a little bit more, and the rest was history.
What is the importance of your wife right now in how you've been able to change yourself?
She was with me when I was young, when I had nothing. She was with me when I was immature. She has supported me in absolutely everything I have done blindly because she has believed in me um, throughout life. Even when I've been a shitty human being, she knows my core. She's always known my values and internal morals. So she's always stuck with me blindly and pushed me to be better by either nagging, by either yelling at me, by either giving me silent treatment, by either trying to talk to me like a normal human being. But she's always been there. Um, Even at times where many people may have told her that I may not be the right person.
Mm.
She's always stuck by me, and I now at 36 years old, 12 years after being um, married to her, actually can vocalize that properly to her and really um, understand the sacrifices that she's made for us.
How has what you've been through and who you've become over the past 7 months, how has that changed the dynamic between how you and your wife interact?
The biggest thing that over the years, I'm a social guy, but I'm a quiet guy. I think a lot in my head. Um, the biggest thing that she's always said to me is that because you're so quiet, you don't communicate. You don't share with me what you're going through in your head. You're not present. You're thinking and you're not there with us. And when I talk to you, let's say we have a fight as a couple, I will vent about what the fight is about, and you'll say sorry, but you don't know what you're sorry for. Um, if I have a conversation with you, you nod your head, say yeah, okay, all right, and you don't give me feedback back. She said many times, I'm looking for a conversation with another adult. And because I was always in my head and not present and lazy and maybe hungover and maybe slow, maybe thinking about something, another stress that I couldn't overcome, that I didn't have the power to overcome because I was sloppy and lazy, I wasn't present. So in my mind, it was always, I'm doing all this for them. What does she mean I'm not present? I am present. I'm doing everything for them, which I believe I was, which I believe I am. Uh, but I wasn't doing it the right way. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing it to build myself and build them. I was doing it to do them a favor.
Is that a situation that a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, successful guys find themselves in, who are obsessed with providing and becoming successful?
For sure, guaranteed. I've heard it. I've heard it time and time again. And I think I mean, how many business guys do you know that are divorced?
Yeah, this is a huge problem with that community. It's hard whether you're a business guy or you're just a high level person trying to be successful in any field. Like
Yeah,
a lot of our identity is just tied to career success. It's we feel confident. We want to be respected.
yeah,
But
and those guys that still have their wives that are successful businessmen, are their wives staying because they're providing a good lifestyle, or are they staying because they really love them deeply?
there's a study out there in the book For Men Only. They mentioned that they polled thousands of women and wives, and they asked them. They said, "Would you rather make like a tenth or a hundredth of the money you do right now, but be madly in love with your husband, or make the same or more money and just have the respect between them?" And all of the ladies, it was like 80-90% chose they'd rather be destitute but have a great relationship with their husband.
Yes, I don't think there's any woman that would answer differently.
It's hard to justify that, because if you're a guy who's in the midst of growing his empire, and you're out crushing sales and growing your business, and like that provides so much fire and fuel to you, and then it's easy to get lost in that, and you look aside and your wife is just there watching you getting more and more distant.
Yeah.
So how do we bridge the gap between there?
I think how I bridge the gap is actually learn how to communicate through this group. Um, in our discussion group, everybody communicates with one another. The guys communicate on Zoom calls. We share our feelings, we share our issues, we share our challenges. We share how we sometimes get defensive when our wife asks us a question that we don't want to answer. We share how we could change that next time. We practice throughout our days, and I think communication is the big piece here. Communication is what has really helped me grow my relationship with her. And it's 7 months in, it's still progressing. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like my wife doesn't believe how long this is going to last. I
I s-
believe that my
Go
wife
ahead.
feels that it's too good to be true. I
Mm.
feel like she still has her guard up. I feel like before she didn't have her guard up,
Mm.
and now she's got her guard up because she doesn't believe that this is going to stay as it is,
Mm.
because it's in the past changed very quickly.
But isn't that a great place to be? I would,
Yes.
the situation you just described, that is the inevitable roadblock that comes on the midst of completely changing your life. Because you could either, like that, what you just described from your wife is a little bit of resistance, right?
Yeah.
But that's a little bit of resistance on the way to a better marriage. You could either suffer that, push through it, and have a better marriage, or you could say, well, I don't want to deal with those passive aggressive comments or whatever comes your way, so I'm just going to remain the same.
Yeah, and resistance. Somebody said on one of our Zoom calls, you are most scared before your next level up. You have the
Mm-hmm.
most fear before your next level up. And I reflected on that yesterday and the day before. And there's two things that I'm most scared about. Is one is I'm moving into a brand new house, and I've got lots of change coming. So how am I going to adjust to that new lifestyle and the new expenses and the new lifestyle? Second is how my relationship is going to evolve with my wife. Is she going to start believing that I'm actually this new person? Is she going to be okay with it, with me not drinking for a long time? Because I haven't drank in 7 months. When we
Mm-hmm.
go for dinner, not having a glass of wine with her, is she going to be okay with me eating chicken breast and avocado every restaurant we go to, and having a scale with me everywhere we go? Um, I think I'm coming to that point where I'm starting to believe that she will be. I'm starting to believe that she's a part of this journey, and she is becoming more and more a part of the journey. She's macro counting. She's working out every day, 5 days a week,
Amazing.
and she's looking amazing. She's feeling amazing, and we're working on her mental strength as well, just like we're working on my mental strength.
Awesome. And that was my next question: is how has, because you've got kids, you've got a wife, how has your journey bled into their behaviors, habits? Has it changed at all? It sounds like it is.
Oh, drastically. I did a little worksheet that was presented in our group by one of the guys. 7 questions to ask your kids on an Instagram post. And one of the questions that I asked all three of my kids is, what do you want to learn with me?
Mm,
And my middle child, Ryan, said, I want to learn how to have big muscles like dad.
man.
Just his answer. Um, One of the other questions was, what do you feel around me, your
Mm,
father? What do you feel around me? My one answer, my daughter, or I believe my daughter or my son said peace and quiet. The other one said, I feel, yes, my daughter said that, peace and quiet. And Ryan said, I feel loved. And Logan wrote nothing. He wrote the word nothing. But you know what? That's better than a bad word.
yeah, that's
That's
right.
better than that's better than scared. That's better than stressed. That's better than worried. That showed me that I got more work to do.
That's a bucket you can fill any way
I
you
got
want.
more work to do.
I love
So
that.
so their mental capacity to communicate has gotten better. As children,
Mm,
their diet has gotten better. Their activity has gotten better. My wife's diet has gotten better. My wife's reflection of her own self has gotten better. My wife's ability to recover from a fight with me has gotten better. Every single aspect of my life is changing for the positive.
And now you are doing the same to other guys with the skills you've learned, strategies you've learned, as you are developing yourself. Like we are all, as we talk about, we've never arrived anywhere. We're always working to become their best selves. So now we have these things called pods in our group now. It started about a month ago or so. And because you've demonstrated consistency and discipline, I said, yeah, Aman needs to be a pod leader. And you welcome that role. So you're beginning to see guys who are just starting, who are struggling, some dropping in and out. And it's a good reflection of, it's a good mirror of society as a whole and the problems guys go through. So from your perspective, where you're looking, what are some things that will keep a guy stuck, whether in your pod or just out in the world that you see, that want to make a change, like problems guys are going through that are keeping them stuck?
I believe that men don't have an ability and opportunity and place to get rid of the junk within their mind.
Mm.
I believe when they're stuck in a place where they can't get across a bridge, they don't have anybody to look to. Like there are so many different associations coming up with mental health issues for men now, because men have always been trained to be strong and not and hide their feelings and hide their emotions and keep pushing forward. I think that was the wrong way. I think that's what created psychopath murderers. That's what created men that hit their kids, or men that aren't the best husbands, and weird relationships where the wife sticks around for 50 years, but are they really happy, truly happy? I think those men are going through mental health issues. I think they need to talk issues out that they keep playing in their head, and they can't cross that bridge because they have nobody to turn to. They have nobody to talk to. So I'm a big believer, especially now after this group, and I was always was before, of men having an output, men having the ability to be able to talk through their small, very small issues. But those small issues, once they get talked about and once they get off their plate, we build a certain confidence, and we can win one small win and compound those wins.
Yeah, we touched on that on yesterday's call, because they really suck the life out of you whenever
Yeah,
when you struggle with something and keep it down.
yeah,
We don't have this free infinite capacity of room and space in our brain for energy. Like everything we are shoving down is taking a percentage of our brain space and energy and focus and power. So if you have something that you refuse to talk about or you've known to talk about, it's sucking out a portion of your available life. I think that's the way I see it.
for sure.
So you specifically, to other guys, what are some things that you struggled with mentally, emotionally, spiritually, with discipline, whatever it is, that you can relate to with other guys?
Um, Drinking, communication, venting, getting stuff out, thinking about strategies to better myself. Another thing that I always struggled was waking up on time. Another thing I always struggled uh, was actually taking accountability for my own actions that weren't good for myself. That's a big one. Um, Spiritually, I've always been somewhat spiritual, but really sitting down and reflecting was always a problem. Just don't have the time. I always said I don't have the time to think. But now I'm creating the time to think. I'm creating the time to reflect. There is time. There's lots of time.
What are you doing to create that time?
I'm prioritizing the things that really matter. Me growing myself. I mean, I go to bed at 9 o'clock on average, and I wake up at 3 a.m. So I get 6 hours of sleep. Right now, on average, I'm seeing like 5 hours of sleep, but I always aim for that 6 hours of sleep. Um, so I wake up at 3:30, and do a whole morning routine, work out, meditate, active service for my wife or for us. I didn't want to say for my wife. It's more for us, and that's something that happened this morning. Um, I had an issue happen. Our dishwasher last night broke down, and this morning I woke up to a text message from my wife saying I tried to get the dishwasher on, it didn't work, and our dishwasher is full. We got 3 kids. Dishwasher is full, sink's full. I worked out as quick as I could. Instead of 90-second breaks, I took 60-second breaks, 45-second breaks. I worked out, finished my workout in an hour, and I spent 1 hour hand washing every single dish.
There you go.
Even though my wife is a stay-at-home mom, and I know she said to me, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the dishes." It wasn't for her. I had to do it for myself. I had to do it because it's Friday today, and I want her to have present time with her children while I'm at work. And I would feel that I haven't done my part in this family if I didn't do that. So I had to do it. I had to postpone our call by 15 minutes to finish every single fork one by one. And then now the dishwasher it's emptied. I can call somebody and get somebody to come and repair it throughout the day. It doesn't get prolonged. I've actioned the item right away and killed the problem and killed that negative voice and got it out. Let's go.
So your wife's a stay-at-home mom, right?
Yes, very busy. She's very busy with the 3 kids as well.
And you run a group of businesses.
Yes.
Right? And he decided to spend an hour hand washing dishes. Some guys would say it's being a beta male. That's being subservient. How do you see leadership of a household and leadership of a husband?
I got a tattoo of a lighthouse. We reference the lighthouse in the Rising Fathers group a lot. That is a building that is so stoic and so rigid and solid that waves will hit it, storms will come, but the lighthouse is always standing straight, and that light is always shining out of that lighthouse, making sure that the ships out there on the rough waters see where to go. So for me, the leadership within the family now, and it was different before. A year ago, it was, I'm bringing home the bacon. We're living a great lifestyle. These kids should be grateful. This wife should be grateful. What the hell is she gonna? Where the hell is she gonna go? Who's gonna provide her this lifestyle? Now it's more leadership. I have to lead by example, and I have to be the best version of myself so my kids become who I want them to become and become better than me in their life at an earlier age, because I got this at 36. I want them to have this at 8, 9. I want them to go through life with this strength. With my wife, I want to be a leader with her with love and communication, because I want her to be internally happy, and I want to have deep, passionate love with her. And I want to retire with her, and I want to sit on a porch with her for hours and hours and have so many conversations, deep conversations, that we don't get bored of each other. And we have stories of 50 years compiled and remembered and written down that we can go over and recite to each other. So I think this is a long-term thing. This has to become something that we're committed to every single day for the rest of our life, to create that story.
Beautiful. Let's talk about the retreat real quick here, because last May, wasn't that long ago, May 3-4 months ago, in May we had our first ever Rising Father retreat, the Men of Fire retreat at Spooner Lake. Talk to me a little bit about just that weekend.
That weekend was tough to go to because my wife thought I was going out on a vacation. She was under the impression that going out with a bunch of guys that I don't even know from the US, is it safe? What is it? So I had to, it was a lot of work actually getting, not her permission, but getting her alignment of me attending. Months later, after committing to her that I'll cancel a bunch of other boys' trips that I had planned for the year, so I reduced my trips from like 6 trips this year to about 3. because I really felt that this retreat was going to be great. Um, I came to the retreat. I was one of the participants in the retreat. I think there were 20 some guys there. 3 days long of self-development activities. I would call him a self-help therapist come and talk us through our childhood and the traumas that we may have had and how to get through them. We had a doctor there, Dr. Darren. He's jacked, absolutely humongous.
Dr. Darren Van Scoy.
Dr. Darren Van Scoy. He's also a pro bodybuilder and a very knowledgeable doctor, business owner as well. We had him come up and he said he had a motivational speech that I've never heard before that left a huge mark on me. And no fucking excuses will be a phrase in my life for the rest of my life. Delusional dreams will be something that I picked up from that. I'll have delusional dreams for the rest of my life. Just so many things about that retreat that leveled me up, that really hit home, that allowed me to really reflect on who I was, who I've become, and who I want to be. So I categorize that retreat into 3 outcomes for me: who I was, write it down; who I am, write it down; and who I'm going to become. Not who I want to be, who I'm going to become.
That's the story you're telling yourself about yourself. That's inner belief. Is that important to you with guiding your life actions? Is the story you tell yourself about yourself?
Absolutely. Yesterday I taught my kids about the word confidence and belief. I was driving them to karate, and my daughter chose to come for the drive as well. So the word of the day was confidence, and within confidence was belief. And I talk to my kids a lot about that. Is if you believe you're gonna get a goal in soccer, you will. If you believe you're gonna shoot a basket in basketball, you will. If it doesn't happen the first time, it will happen the second time. If it doesn't happen the second time, it will happen the third time. But you have to continuously believe.
It's brainwashing.
Yeah, it is. It's a cult.
But whether we acknowledge it or not, we're all sucked into cults and brainwashing. And you get to choose who brainwashes you. You can be intentional about it and pop into our WhatsApp community and join a program like ours and brainwash yourself with guys who want to be the best husband, father, man they can be. Or you can be brainwashed by CNN, Fox News, social media, and people that try to bring you down. But you get to choose your cult. You get to choose your brainwash. So in my perspective, choose the best one possible. So
yes,
if you're a guy who's listening to this and is, thinking like, man, I've considered doing something like this, whether it's this program, another program, just starting anything, what caused you to just take the leap? Like, what do they need to hear that can get them to just move forward and do something, just to finally get out of that thinking, researching phase, just finally just take some action?
If you want any change in your life, sometimes it's easier to have the support than try to do it yourself. Having friends and having a community that can support you in your growth can be easier than doing it yourself. Some people can do it themselves. Some people can. Some people will take a little bit longer. Some people will do it quicker. But if you feel that you need some support, this is the way to do it. Is get the support of people who've already done the process, who've already gone through it, and can educate and can guide you. That's what mentorship is about. I've got mentors in business. I've got mentors in life. I'm learning off people that have already done it, that are older than me, that have retired, that have built a business, sold a business. I have to surround myself with those people for advice. So why not surround yourself with people that have made life-changing action happen, and maybe it can happen to you.
Perfect. What else did you want to talk about today? Share that you didn't get to share.
Just this group sounds too good to be true.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, this group sounds too good to be true is what I thought the first day that I that you told me about it. And I remember saying to you, "Can you show me the WhatsApp community? Can you show me?" But if you had shown me, I would have thought to myself, this is gonna take too much of my time. It's gonna suck way too. I can't have pings happening on my phone all day long. But guess what? I've adapted. I've changed. I spend less time on Instagram. I spend less time on Facebook scrolling. I'd rather spend more time with my brotherhood and with my community, working on my issues and working on strategies to become better and talking stuff out and having fun and sharing workout pictures and flexing, doing Flex Friday. I'd rather do all that. So I want to, in closing, I want to thank you, Chris, for pushing me to and making me believe to join the group. I want to thank you for the impact that you've had in my life. I want to thank you for creating this group and always being there for us. I owe you my life. When you come to Vancouver and you stay over at my place, I'm going to be the best goddamn host you've ever had. And your family is my family. My family is your family. We're brothers till we die. And I mean it.
You make me tear up, man. We will be coming to Vancouver. I want to, and this isn't just some average house this guy's building. This is a future retreat location. Looks amazing.
And honestly, when you come here, you're gonna have one of the best vacations you've ever had because you're gonna come to my house. You're gonna stay here for a few days. We're gonna enjoy our time together, and then I'm gonna set you off with an itinerary of absolutely everything that you need to see in Vancouver. And you're gonna have it all planned out for you. I'm an Excel genius, so
I know, man. I know about the Excel sheets.
I'll have every minute planned out for you.
I know, dude. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's my honor and pleasure to get to work with guys like you and just welcome you into my life and me into yours. It's unbelievable what can happen. We've met each other in person one time. It's great.
Yeah, one more thing. You have helped me find my purpose, and that purpose involves changing the world. That purpose involves inspiring other men to be the best version of themselves for their family. That purpose involves changing one man at a time, just as you have done for 70. So it doesn't mean I'm going to have a Rising Fathers 2.0. It means that everybody in my life that's in my circle is going to hear my story, is going to hear what I feel about life, is going to hear how I better myself. Because you've given me the grounds to communicate and express myself. So I appreciate you and you've left a mark on the world, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And you're already doing it through just purely living your life. You've already brought multiple guys into the program who are changing their life. You're changing people's lives in the program as a leader. And just by living your example through this podcast, people will hear you and feel inspired to change their life. So you are doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want people to? Do you want to advertise anything? Send people to anywhere? Find out more about your businesses? Anything?
Yeah, sure. Again, my website is www.ewgroup.ca. Check out the website. In Canada, we operate in Canada. We're Canada-wide. We do equipment financing and commercial mortgages, residential mortgages through conventional bank sources and private financing as well. We're very involved with our social responsibility side. Both me and my business partner have 3 kids each, similar ages. So we support communities like our BC Children's Hospital here and Backpack Buddies. Backpack Buddies is an association that we pack back little small backpacks of food for kids that come to school without having breakfast, without having lunch, without having food. So for us, giving back to the community is very important. But again, when I bring up the word community a lot, that's become a word in my vocabulary because it's all about the people that we surround ourselves with and what we do for people that helps us grow ourselves. Just as you are helping men grow through this group, you're working for the community. You're being selfless. Initially, you're being selfish by working out, working on yourself, working on your mental health, but you're actually selfless. So I commend you for that, and I think that's the one thing that I really want to say is all of us men can be selfless as long as we're selfish and working on ourselves.
Perfect. And if you want to come hang out with guys like Aman, send me a DM and we can talk about our group.
Let's do it. Let's get that number from
Yeah.
70 to 100.
Yeah, total we're over 100. Active
Yeah.
is 70. Let's get it to 1,000.
Yeah, let's get it to 1,000. Let's get it to 100,000. Let's get it to a million. Let's get it to 2 million. Let's have a delusional dream to bring it to a billion. Let's do it.
And Am is just one of our guys, and we've got this group is full of guys with this mindset. And we create more and more people like this.
I have never been so
impact.
really happy. I am the happiest I've ever been.
It's been awesome, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and let's do this again like 12 months from now, whenever you're have 30 more pounds of muscle and a billionaire.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's coming. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're gonna see me become a monster.
I can't wait.